What if I told you that the constant nagging feeling that you're not happy is by design? That your life, from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall into an exhausted sleep, has been perfectly engineered to keep you dissatisfied, stressed, and always wanting more. Here's a spoiler. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're living in a system that profits from your unhappiness. If you've ever felt like you're running on a treadmill and just can't get off, you're not imagining things. If you feel a strange sense of hollowness despite being more connected than any generation in history, that's not an accident. We're told that happiness is a prize you get for landing a good job, buying a nice house, and having the latest phone. We're sold this dream of success that demands constant productivity and relentless self-improvement. But for a shockingly large number of us, even when we get these things, we feel empty. The 2024 World Happiness Report revealed a startling trend. Happiness for people under 30 in the United States has plummeted so sharply that the US now ranks 62nd globally for that age group. It seems the more we chase the right version of happiness, the further away it gets. This isn't a coincidence, it's a setup. And in this video, we're not just going to expose the invisible forces killing your joy, we're going to give you the blueprint to fight back. The first and maybe the most powerful architect of our modern misery is the work trap, or as it's more fashionably known, hustle culture. It's this mentality sold to us as the only path to success, a belief system where productivity is the highest virtue. Rise and grind and hash no days off aren't just hashtags. They're the gospel of a new religion that worships at the altar of relentless effort. We're told that nobody ever changed the world on 40 hours a week, so we sacrifice our evenings, our weekends, and our mental health on the promise of a future reward that might never even show up. This culture pushes an intense, all-or-nothing work ethic that leaves no room for, well, anything else. It draws a straight line between our professional achievements and our self-worth. Your value as a person becomes your output. Meeting a deadline? Good day. Making a mistake? You're a failure. The problem is, this is a game we can never really win. It creates what experts call toxic productivity, that deeply ingrained belief that you have to constantly be doing something useful to have value. This inevitably leads to chronic stress, anxiety, and burnout. The stats are pretty grim. Recent surveys show that more than half of all Gen Z and millennial employees feel burned out from work. And we're not talking about just being a little tired. This is a state of deep mental and physical exhaustion. This constant stress keeps our bodies in a perpetual fight or flight mode, which wrecks our well-being over time. We lose sleep, our relationships start to crack, and we're left with zero time or energy for the hobbies and passions that used to make us feel alive. The trap is so sneaky because it pretends to be ambition. It convinces us that by working ourselves to the bone, we're investing in our future happiness. But the reality is that it's doing the exact opposite. The second architect is a phantom living in our pockets, the social media mirage. We're living in the most connected time in human history, but somehow, we're also one of the loneliest generations ever. That's no accident. It's a direct result of the illusion of connection these platforms are selling. A like, a comment, a shared reel, these are quick, shallow hits that mimic the feeling of real connection without any of the actual substance. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok aren't just fun apps. They are meticulously designed environments engineered to hijack your attention. They run on algorithms that prioritize engagement, and guess what gets the most engagement? Content that triggers strong emotions, envy, outrage, and inadequacy. You are constantly flooded with the curated highlight reels of other people's lives. Their perfect vacations, their promotions, their flawless relationships, and you're left comparing their polished perfection to the messy, unedited reality of your own life. It's a competition you are set up to lose. This creates a culture of perpetual comparison, which is a direct pipeline to feeling miserable. Study after study has linked heavy social media use to increased feelings of loneliness, anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. The US Surgeon General even warned that these platforms can perpetuate body dissatisfaction and social comparison, especially for young people. It's a system where your self-worth gets tied to external validation, likes, shares, and follower counts, which is an incredibly shaky foundation for happiness. This digital mirage also tricks our brains into thinking our social needs are being met. We feel socially drained from endless scrolling and surface-level interactions, but we haven't actually gotten any of the benefits of real in-person human connection. This just leaves us feeling even more isolated. Heck, Even the mere presence of a phone during a conversation has been shown to reduce feelings of trust and empathy between two people, acting as a physical barrier to a real moment. We've traded deep, authentic connection for a shallow, distorted imitation, and the price we're paying is our own well-being. Our third architect is the very engine of our economy, the consumption treadmill. From a young age, we're taught to believe a simple, powerful, and deeply flawed message: buying things will make you happy. Consumer culture is a social construct designed to keep you permanently dissatisfied. It runs on a simple formula: create a sense of inadequacy and then sell the cure. Ads don't just sell products, they sell idealized lifestyles, making you feel greedy and unhappy with what you already have. This system thrives on the idea that human desire is a bottomless pit. There is always a new phone, a faster car, a bigger house. The thrill you get from a new purchase is almost always temporary, a short-term dopamine hit that fades fast, leaving you right back where you started. Only now you're craving the next thing. This is the hedonic treadmill, a chase for more that ultimately leaves our baseline happiness right where it was. The psychological research on this is crystal clear. People who build their lives around external goals, like buying stuff and getting rich, report more unhappiness in their relationships, worse moods, and more psychological issues. The irony is that it's not the money or the things themselves, but the constant striving for them that's so toxic. This chase steals time and energy away from the very things that actually lead to long-term happiness: meaningful relationships, personal growth, and a sense of community. This cycle of overconsumption also creates massive financial anxiety. We're all pressured to keep up with the Joneses, a race that causes real stress as people spend money they don't have and rack up debt. Consumerism promises fulfillment but delivers a hollow substitute. It encourages us to define our lives by what we own rather than who we are. Our identities get tangled up with brand names and products, turning us into walking billboards for a fake, idealized version of life. The system is designed to keep you confused about what you truly need versus what you're told you want. It's an endless loop of desire and disappointment that ensures you're never quite satisfied, because a satisfied customer is no longer a customer. The final architect we'll talk about is maybe the most subtle and heartbreaking: the erosion of real, genuine community. As we've become more technologically connected, we've drifted further apart in the real world. The U.S. Surgeon General has declared loneliness a public health epidemic in America, stating its impact on mortality is comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. We are surrounded by people, yet totally disconnected from any true sense of belonging. This isn't just about social media, which we already covered. It's about a bigger societal shift. The very structure of modern life often isolates us. We live alone, we work alone, and we entertain ourselves alone with screens. Third places, those community hubs like parks, libraries, and cafes where people can just gather and exist together, are disappearing or being turned into businesses. The chances for spontaneous, real-world interactions are shrinking fast. Unhealthy relationships, both romantic and platonic, are another huge barrier to joy. Relationships built on what you can get from someone rather than genuine care will leave you feeling empty and unsupported. You might have hundreds, even thousands of friends online, but how many people can you actually call in a crisis? This gap between perceived connection and actual support is a massive source of distress. Our culture often fails to give us the tools to handle emotional pain, which leads to social withdrawal. Instead of teaching us healthy ways to cope, society just offers distractions. This means we rarely build the emotional resilience we need to create and maintain deep, vulnerable relationships. The fear of being judged or misunderstood keeps us from showing our true selves, leading to interactions that feel safe but are totally superficial. The consequences are serious. A lack of genuine social interaction damages our well-being and makes it even harder to form relationships down the road. We are social creatures by nature. Our brains are wired for connection. When that need isn't met, it creates a void that no amount of screen time or shopping can fill. We were not meant to live like this, atomized and isolated. That hollow feeling isn't a personal failure. It's a rational response to an unnatural way of living. So we've unmasked the architects, the work trap, the social media mirage, the consumption treadmill, and the illusion of connection. It can feel overwhelming, like the game is rigged against you. And in many ways, it is. But just knowing the design is the first and most powerful step toward breaking free. This isn't about finding simple life hacks to be happier. This is about a conscious rebellion. Rebellion-1. Reclaim your time and attention. Your time and attention are your most valuable currencies, and they are under constant attack. The first act of rebellion is to set fierce boundaries. This means defining a clear end to your workday. It means turning off notifications and scheduling time to be completely unplugged. Practice mindfulness not as another chore on your to-do list, but as an act of defiance against a world that demands your constant distraction. Instead of seeing rest as lazy, reframe it as essential for creativity, clarity, and well-being. You are not a machine. Your worth is not measured by your output. Rebellion-2. Embrace the real. The second rebellion is to actively choose the authentic over the artificial. Prioritize real, in-person connection. Schedule a call instead of just sending a text. Arrange a coffee with a friend instead of just liking their post. Practice active listening. Be vulnerable with people you trust. It's in those moments of genuine, imperfect connection that the deepest sense of belonging is built. Curate your digital life as fiercely as you do your real one. Unfollow accounts that make you feel like crap, and seek out content that's inspiring and honest. True connection is a medicine for the soul that no amount of digital validation can ever replace. Rebellion-3. Define your own enough. The third rebellion is a direct attack on the consumption treadmill. It's the act of consciously deciding what enough means to you. Separate from what society and ads tell you. This isn't about living like a monk, it's about being intentional. Before you buy something, ask yourself, do I actually need this, or have I just been convinced that I want it? Shift your focus from acquiring things to collecting experiences and learning skills. Practice gratitude for what you already have. It's a powerful antidote to the poison of consumerism. Redefine success not by what you own, but by the richness of your relationships and how well your life lines up with your core values. This journey of rebellion isn't easy, and it's not one you have to take on by yourself. The systems we've talked about thrive on making us feel isolated in our struggles. So I want to ask you, which of these architects of unhappiness hits closest to home for you? Share your experience in the comments below. As you read through them, you'll see you are far from alone, and that sense of shared struggle is where our collective power really begins. And if this message hits home, subscribe for more content on how to navigate the madness of the modern world and reclaim your life. Finally, the most profound act of rebellion is this: give yourself permission to be unhappy. Our society is obsessed with chasing constant positivity, but this is a deeply unnatural state to be in. Sadness, anger, frustration, and disillusionment are not signs that you are broken. They are often sane and rational reactions to a world that is, in many ways, completely irrational. True well-being isn't about getting rid of negative feelings. It's about embracing the full spectrum of what it means to be human. It's understanding that resilience is built in tough times, and satisfaction comes not from avoiding challenges, but from the powerful feeling of working through them. Happiness is not a destination you finally arrive at. It is a byproduct of a life lived with purpose, connection, and authenticity. The world may be designed to keep you unhappy, but you hold the blueprint for its redesign. It starts with awareness. It's built through conscious choices, and it's sustained by the quiet, daily rebellion of living a life that is truly, authentically your own. The grass isn't greener on the other side, it's greener where you decide to water it. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Your support helps us create more content to empower you. Thank you for watching.